Outrage in Haiti and elsewhere over the U.S. president's reported derogatory comments about immigrants from that country. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Friday, January 12th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Dawn Paris. Good evening. The Haitian government reacted with shock and outrage on Friday to reports that President Donald Trump had referred to people from that country in a vulgar and derogatory manner during a closed-door meeting with lawmakers on immigration reform. Trump ignited the firestorm when he reportedly used a vulgar slur when he questioned why the U.S. would accept more people from Haiti and countries in Africa and El Salvador rather than other places like Norway. He allegedly used profanity in reference to those countries. The White House did not initially deny the reports, but President Trump took to Twitter on Friday to deny using the obscenity, although he admitted that the language he used was tough. But the Juvenile Moïse government issued a strongly worded statement on Friday saying it was profoundly outraged and shocked by the tenor of the reported remarks that, at a minimum, are disrespectful and insulting. Unlike others, it described the comments as racist. The government said in a statement, quote, "The Haitian government condemns in the strongest terms these abhorrent and obnoxious remarks, which, if proven, reflect a totally erroneous and racist view of the Haitian community and its contribution to the United States. These insulting and reprehensible statements in no way reflect the virtues of wisdom, restraint, and discernment that must be cultivated by any high political authority." End quote. And a senior Caribbean diplomat is calling on all countries of the region to take a united stand in condemning Trump's remarks. In a commentary on Friday, Antigua and Barbuda's ambassador to the OAS, Sir Ronald Sanders, said the alleged remarks can only serve to hurt U.S.-Caribbean relations. He says he hopes the U.S. representatives in other countries will distance themselves from Trump's alleged statements. The career diplomat called on all Caribbean people to rise up and strongly condemn Trump's depiction of Haiti. Sir Ron said, quote, "Every Caribbean person at all levels should make it abundantly and crystal clear that we resent this depiction of Haiti. We call for acknowledgement by all who have exploited it and kept it in poverty. And we urge that instead of dismissing it in unfortunate language, they implement programs to atone for their part in its pauperization." End quote. Meantime, there has also been international outcry. In a strongly worded statement, the United Nations said it was impossible to describe the president's remarks as anything other than racist. And the Vatican has decried Trump's words as particularly harsh and offensive. In other news, the Jamaica government is concerned about a U.S. travel advisory warning its citizens about sexual assaults, among other crimes, in the island. The advisory issued on Wednesday claims that sexual assaults occur frequently, even at all-inclusive resorts. National Security Minister Robert Montague said that will be investigated and his ministry will have consultations with the Ministries of Foreign Affairs and Tourism. The advisory had also stated that violent crimes such as home invasions, armed robberies, and homicides are common in Jamaica, and police lack the resources to respond effectively to serious incidents. But on Thursday, the U.S. Embassy said that Jamaica's status has not changed despite the recent advisory. Public Affairs Officer at the Embassy, Jeremiah Knight, said the U.S. State Department has simply introduced a new tiered system.
This is not a new advisory for Jamaica. This is a reformat of the travel advisory that we're doing for all countries throughout the world, and it was issued yesterday for all nations, not just Jamaica. And so this has the exact same information that was being shared before about Jamaica, but now they're putting it into providing levels of advice ranging from 1 to 4. And Jamaica falls into the level 2, along with nations like France, the Dominican Republic, Italy, the Bahamas, the UK. 1, it represents exercise normal precautions. 2 represents exercise increased cautions. 3 is reconsider traveling to the nation. And 4 is do not travel to the nation.
And the Bahamas is also reacting to the newly issued U.S. travel advisory following the adjustment to the tier system by the U.S. State Department. The Bahamas has now been added to the list of countries to avoid. And as we hear in this report from Cleopatra Murphy of ZNS Network News, residents of the tourist-dependent country are not too pleased.
I feel that's very biased and also hypocritical of them.
The latest travel advisory by the U.S. State Department urging Americans to exercise extreme caution when visiting the Bahamas due to crime is not sitting well with Bahamians, particularly after a tourist hub Arawak Key was highlighted. The U.S. Embassy issued a Level 2 advisory Wednesday, urging visitors to avoid the area known as Over the Hill and the fish fry at Arawak Key in Nassau at night. Chef at Frankie Gone Bananas, Anton Johnson, says tourists make up 45 to 50% of the restaurant's business, and what he described as an exaggerated advisory can hurt the area's businesses.
First of all, we have the police station was right across the road from our restaurant, and they do a very good job of patrolling the area. Mind you, there are some things that slip through the crack, which you cannot really control. But it's nothing out of the ordinary and nothing that is so severe that they cannot control it.
He says the advisory is ridiculous coming from the U.S. when its own cities have much worse crime. The advisory warns that violent crimes such as burglaries, armed robberies, and sexual assault is common even during daylight hours and in tourist areas. Dancer says he has been a runner at the fish fry for 15 years, and he is concerned that tourists will second-guess visiting the locale.
Out here, everybody depends on the tourists, especially me. I'm the guy that catch the tourists on the beach and bring them to each one of these restaurants. I get $2 a head. So if they don't come down here, right now my little girl needs a pair of shoes. So what am I going to do? You understand what I'm saying? So that's ridiculous.
Owner of Big Yard, Jontatis Joseph, insists that Arawak Key is not a crime hub and tourists can feel secure patronizing the area. In 15 years, he says he has never had a problem.
Yeah, the safe area. They're very, very safe area for the tourists. I want all presidents coming Arawak Key and coming to support the business and coming to chill in Arawak Key. Now is a very, very good area for the tourists, that tourist spot.
In the meantime, that advisory once again warned U.S. citizens against patronizing jet ski operators, as it has in recent advisories, noting that jet ski operators are known to commit sexual assaults against tourists, including minors. Those who make their livelihood on Arawak Key say they are concerned about the impact such advisories can have on the country as a whole, but insist the area is safe.
In Trinidad and Tobago, the controversial anti-gang legislation may soon be back in Parliament. Less than 2 months after it withheld support for the bill, the opposition wants to work with the government to pass that legislation. And the government says it's willing to work with the opposition. We get more in this TV6 News report.
Opposition leader Kamla Prasad-Basasa says she'd like to meet with the government with the hope of having this legislation and the Anti-Terrorism Act amended and put into law. Minister in the Office of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs, Short Young, says this is music to his ears.
If the opposition at this stage, as you say, are prepared to sit now with the government and work it out, we are always prepared to do what is right for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and the police service, who constitutionally are mandated to be the law enforcement agency to protect and serve us as citizens, are the ones asking for it. The government is there. I am certain that the Prime Minister will instruct the Office of the Attorney General to make ourselves available.
The one thing standing in the way of the anti-gang legislation seeing an early return to Parliament is a standing order which calls for at least 6 months to pass before any bill is reintroduced to the Parliament. But the opposition has also proposed that they invoke Standing Orders 122 and 126 to allow for the reintroduction of the anti-gang bill in the current parliamentary session. Prasad Basasa said, quote, if the police service and other arms of the protective services are of the view that the passage of this legislation will assist in their ability to combat gangs and gang activity, I believe that we as leaders are duty-bound to find a bipartisan solution to ensure the passage of this legislation with the required constitutional majority, end quote. Young said that the opposition's desire to go that far to ensure that the bill gets a second chance is a step in a positive direction.
I am certain if that is true that we will sit down out of the Office of the Attorney General day and night to work on the legislation. If there's a consensus with legislation, we abridge the time, we take that legislation to Parliament. It can be done in the shortest possible time frame. We are prepared to do all that we can.
Nika Parson.
Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, St. Lucia gets a new Governor General. We'll be right back.
Sail with us through our ocean blues, where there's a blessed land that's waiting for you. Shh. Look, listen, feel. Realize your dream escape that's magically surreal. The best kept secret, a place you'll never forget, where adventure beckons with every gentle footstep. From lush mountain green to warm volcanic sand, submerged in splendor, our 32 enchanting islands. A kaleidoscope of experiences. No need to look anymore. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Caribbean you're looking for.
Did you know that a strategy has been developed to help improve the region's education and human resources?
You didn't? Well, the HID strategy, as it is called, will guide CARICOM in how it delivers quality education and training to the people of the region.
The strategy has been crafted by a group of experts called the HRD Commission.
Consultations have been done across the region to get your input.
Do you know that none of us will be left behind?
The HRD strategy is important to all of us, students, parents, and employers. It will prepare the region, especially the youth, for the 21st century economy and society.
The HRD strategy, unlocking Caribbean human potential.
Come and experience fun, meet amazing people, and enjoy fantastic food at the 22nd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival. 5 days of festivities from June 27th to July 1st of 2018, with main stage performances from the 28th to the 30th. Here's the first wave of confirmed acts. The legendary Patti LaBelle, Queen of Dancehall, Spice, Miss Lauryn Hill. Many more acts to be announced. Book now and save the date. For more information, log on to StKittsMusicFestival.net. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other.
Welcome back. Sir Emmanuel Sinak was sworn in as St. Lucia's 6th Governor General at a special installation ceremony at Parliament on Friday. Addressing the ceremony, Prime Minister Alan Chastanet lauded the work of Sir Emmanuel in the legislative and judicial arm of government for over 40 years. He said it has helped to prepare him for service at the highest office at a time when St. Lucia is in the process of rebranding itself.
I, Emmanuel Neville Snack, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, heirs and successors, according to law, so help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Emmanuel Neville Snack, Governor General of St. Lucia.
Acceptance speech, Sir Emmanuel reassured the audience that he plans to serve as Governor General for all the people. But first we hear from Prime Minister Alan Chastany.
Easy road has never attracted Sir Neville. Throughout his life, he's never lacked the courage when necessary to swim against the raging tide. Always he has followed his heart. It is clear Sir Neville was never cut out to be ordinary. Sir Neville has always written articles extensively and continuously about the constitutional matters of our country. It is due to his years of experience and his intimate knowledge of the history of this country that Sir Neville is best placed to help our government, especially at a time of rebuilding a new settlement.
Now we hear from the new Governor General.
As President of the Senate in 1993, I gave this assurance to the Senate, which some may still recall. I am not less the President of the opposition for being appointed by the government. This was meant to show that there was a certain sacrosanctity inherent in certain offices that demanded unwavering impartiality. That same sentiment I repeat here today and say, I am not less the Governor General of the opposition for being appointed by the government. For a Governor General is a symbol of unity, to bind us together as one. This for me is the stamp and hallmark of our true parliamentary democracy.
Haiti and its international partners on Thursday launched a $252 million appeal for aid to help the country respond to natural disasters this year. But the country's planning minister says the humanitarian response plan, which was created in partnership with UN agencies working in Haiti, risks falling short of the needed funding as it has in the past. In 2017, an appeal raised only 37% of the funds needed. Earlier this week, President Jovenel Moïse criticized the failure of aid programs to lift Haiti out of extreme poverty. In 2017, Haiti was spared the impact of natural disasters, but is still struggling to recover from past catastrophes, including Hurricane Matthew, which hit the southern end of the country in October 2016, and a 7.0 magnitude earthquake, which killed more than 200,000 people in January 2010. Ahead in Newsline Sport, the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board to probe Darren Bravo's exclusion from the Red Force 4-day and Super 50 squads. We will be right back.
Come, sail with us through our ocean blues, where there's a blessed land that's waiting for you. Shh, look, listen, feel, realize your dream escape that's magically surreal. The best kept secret, a place you'll never forget, where adventure beckons with every gentle footstep. From lush mountain green to warm volcanic sand, submerged in splendor, our 32 enchanting islands. A kaleidoscope of experiences. No need to look anymore. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Caribbean you're looking for.
Did you know that a strategy has been developed to help improve the region's education and human resources?
You didn't? Well, the HID strategy, as it is called, will guide CARICOM in how it delivers quality education and training to the people of the region.
The strategy has been crafted by a group of experts called the HRD Commission.
Consultations have been done across the region to get your input.
Do you know that none of us will be left behind?
The HRD strategy is important to all of us, students, parents, and employers. It will prepare the region, especially the youth, for the 21st century economy and society.
The HRD strategy, unlocking Caribbean human potential.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today.
Continuing with sports now, Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board President Azim Basaraf has promised to look into the communications breakdown that led to Darren Bravo's exclusion from the 4-day and Super 50 setup. It emerged this week that Bravo, the country's premier batsman, had been excluded from both Red Force squads, despite indicating his availability to head coach Kelvin Williams. Following media reports that he had been left out, Bravo clarified on social media that he had informed Williams of his availability for the final match of the ongoing regional 4-day championship against Guyana Jaguars and the first 8 fixtures of the regional Super 50, scheduled to bowl off on January 30th. But convener of selectors Rafiq Jumadeen said he was unaware of this development. He also indicated that both squads had already been finalized and would not be altered to accommodate Bravo. Basaraf described the scenario as unfortunate and also made it clear the problem was not that Bravo had spoken to Williams instead of Jumadeen. The development is the latest twist in the saga surrounding Bravo's career, which has been in turmoil ever since he was sent home in November 2016 ahead of the Tri-Nation Series in Zimbabwe for his controversial Twitter rant aimed at Cricket West Indies president Dave Cameron. Bravo has not played for the Red Force or West Indies since, even though CWI announced last July that his standoff with the board had ended and he was now eligible for selection. Staying with cricket, West Indies all-rounder Deandra Doughton made an impression with the ball but struggled with the bat as her Brisbane Heat strolled to a 5-wicket victory over Melbourne Stars to go joint top of the Women's Big Bash League. Opting to bat first at Harrop Park on Friday, Stars rallied to a competitive 133 for 3 off their 20 overs, with Doughton the best bowler, snaring 2 for 13 from 3 overs of tight medium pace. Katie Mack top scored with 57, anchoring stands of 32 for the first wicket with South African Lizelle Lee and 77 for the second wicket with Mignon du Preez, also of South Africa. In reply, Heat was fired up by opener Beth Mooney's 57 from 38 deliveries, while Jess Jonathan finished unbeaten on 23. The win took Heat to 12 points alongside Sydney Thunder, who boast in their ranks Doughton's West Indies captain, Stephanie Taylor. In football, a 22-woman squad has been named by football coach Jamal Shabazz as Trinidad and Tobago's under-20 team gets set to make history for the Twin Island Republic. The women will begin their quest for World Cup glory when they face Haiti in the opening of the CONCACAF Under-20 Women's Tournament. At a press conference on Thursday, the head coach admitted that the selection process was not an easy task. Kent Fuentes of C-Sport tells us more.
The under-20s will be aiming to be the first women's team from this country to qualify for a World Cup. And the coach Jamal Shabazz says selecting the final 22 to chase history was no easy task.
First, the selection of the squad was difficult because maybe 14, 15 players stood out above the others, and then the about 10 players competing for 5 spots. Okay, even the question of leadership, we have so many leaders, we have rotated them through the media.
Playing in front of your home crowd is never an easy task, and defender Natasha Jan says they are ready for the challenge.
Well, the mood now at camp, we are quite excited. You know, the process and the journey, we have come from far, training day after day. So, you know, we are able to communicate more and, you know, with each other, build more bond, a stronger bond, I should say, with each other. So therefore, when it's time for tournament, you know, we are ready.
The young women came in for high praise from TTFA President David John Williams.
I want to wish the girls all the best. We know that you'll be playing on the 28th. And we know with the effort that you have put out and the sacrifices that you have made, despite all the constraints that the TTFA has had, it has been tremendous.
The full squad reads Malaika Didier, Khalil Keshwa, defenders Alexis Curtin, Natasha John, Jacia Ford, Crystal Molino, Brittany Williams, Cicely Stout, Shauna Legovaya, Amaya Ellis, and Natifa Hackshaw. Midfielders Megan Rampersad, Rana Ward, Shanika Paul, Alexis Fortune, Kerry Johnson, Kelsey Henry, Chelsea Ralph, and Asha James. And the forwards, Laurel Theodore, Denicia Prince, and Aaliyah Prince.
And that's the sport. We'll be right back.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the color of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
Again, the major developments of this day: outrage in Haiti and elsewhere over the U.S. president's reported derogatory comments about immigrants from that country. And in sport, the TNT Cricket Board president promises to look into the communications breakdown that led to Dan Bravo's exclusion from the Red Force 4-day regional and Super 50 setup. And that's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, log on to ConnaNews.com. We'll be back here again on Monday. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and have yourselves a good night and a safe weekend.